whether or not you should honor your feelings or if you should fuck feelings and just keep going on. Time now is actually 1:20 a.m. I have been taking a lot of liberties with my time management ever since leaving my job / getting laid off from work. I've also been sleeping a lot more, just having like 8 to 10 hours of sleep each day. And I think my body really needed it because after so many years of working in corporate and just waking up every day to do the whole grind, even if I'm not feeling well, even if I'm not at 100%, I think a lot of fatigue has built up in my body. And this period of time that I am not in full-time work is a blessing in disguise, honestly, for my health and my wellness. I was someone who always put those things at the bottom of my list. Like, it was never really a priority for me to take care of my health. I always felt like even if I'm not 100%, I will still show up for work and still try to be as productive as I can. But I think in this season of my life where there are a lot of breakdowns and change happening is also really showing me where certain systems or ways of being in my life are not the best, and there are ways in which I can improve how I function, how I lead my life, how I treat my body. And I just feel really grateful for this season, and also I want to be very present to the free time that I have and just enjoy it without rushing into the next thing and the next thing. With this blank canvas that I have right now, I just want to listen to my body. If she needs rest, then she needs rest. If she wants to work, then she wants to work. So the funny thing is, even though it is 1:20 a.m. right now, I kinda am in a working mode. So I'm gonna get some work done. I do have some freelance things that I'm working on, so I'm not entirely out of employment, which also makes me really grateful because getting laid off from work also taught me that there's nothing really that stable about a 9 to 5, and things can happen anyway. So I want to continue keeping up with my freelance and my side hustle work, and to continue building up clients that way, doing creative projects like YouTube that inspires me. We'll see where this all takes me. So yeah, it's a late night work session, but we're keeping it very, very chill and very relaxing, very calming. We're not stressing out. This is a book that I borrowed from an ex-colleague while we were still colleagues, and I haven't even read it yet, but now I guess it's the perfect time. I have my hot chocolate concoction, which is kind of a fail, but it still tastes pretty good, so I'm still gonna have it. But I need to look up a recipe online on how do I do this thing. But I also have some Ben's cookies that I want to eat with it, so Let's give this a taste test. I woke up at around 7 today to journal, and I do this every day, but I actually ended up sleeping until around 11, so it's 11:20 right now. And like I said, I'm really taking a lot of liberties with my time these days and just following the rhythm and the natural flows within me and honoring that for myself now. I want to share a little bit about what I wrote in my journal today, which is something that I think is really coming up, especially as I'm continuing to put myself up online, which is this need for external validation. It's a very common thing. I think a lot of us have that, where we want approval from our friends, our family, our spouse, our bosses. It's also, I think, a natural human thing. But where I think it gets unhealthy for me is when my self-esteem gets lowered when I don't receive the validation that I expect to receive from other people. Social media can be very addicting because every like, every comment, every subscriber feels like an addition to my self-esteem. And that shouldn't be the case, because my self-esteem shouldn't be built up based on these numbers. It should be built up based on something more substantial, something more internal within me. And the more I want to put myself out there online, the more I want to be present to the worth that is inherent in me rather than the worth that other people have ascribed to me or what I think I am being graded on. This need for validation, approval, and this pattern of people pleasing is something that I have been working on for many years. It's a pattern that's so deep rooted in my childhood experiences, where I felt, and the emphasis is that I felt, that I wasn't loved or I wasn't seen and I wasn't heard. And that's not necessarily a reflection of the people that I was expecting it from, but it was more that I just felt like I didn't receive what I wanted to. And that's the most important thing, because what is that I want? You know, what is the hole inside of me that I'm trying to fill? The more self-examination I do, the more layers I unpack, and I uncover more about what are those wounds within me that needs healing and that needs a lot of love. There was a point in my life for sure where I would just power on and continue working hard, striving hard, even if I was feeling all of these feelings. But I'm at a point now where I realized that it's quite unhealthy and pretty unsustainable to keep charging forward even when I'm not feeling well. And I think there is quite a debate online about whether or not you should honor your feelings or if you should fuck feelings and just keep going on regardless of what you feel. And I think, as with many things, there isn't a straightforward answer, and everybody finds their own formula, their own ratio of how they want to deal with it. Like, I'm not someone that always just fucks my feelings, but I'm also not someone who always stops everything and just deals with my feelings, because there are work deadlines, there are things that need to be done, and sometimes you just need to buckle up and get going. It's not a perfect journey, and you can't expect yourself to always be 100%, to always feel like you're at the top of the world. And yet at the same time, if you're not feeling 100%, that is also a sign from your body to pay attention to something within and examine if you still want to carry this baggage and this weight in your journey forward, or if you want to pause for a moment, unpack, throw out the trash, and then keep going. This is why I'm also grateful for this season of my life right now, because I am afforded a lot more time to look into my feelings and just be present to them. Like the past couple of days, I've just been really enjoying time by myself with my friends, getting more emotional about things and feeling a lot more into myself. I did not have this time before when I was working a 9 to 5, because most of the time my energy would be constantly focused on the client or the business and how I need to perform for that role. Yeah, what can I say? It's a pit stop for me, and when you get pit stops in life, I think the best thing you can do with it is to evaluate the journey and make sure that your bag is really filled with things that you want to carry when you start going on again. I am on my way now to go to my ex-colleagues and to just catch up for lunch. This is such an interesting path that I'm on. I've never walked here before, but it's so freaking cool. Say hi. just had such a wholesome time with my two ex-colleagues, and I'm now just waiting for a next meeting with another ex-colleague. We're going for dinner. My videos are super cringe now, but I just, you have to embrace the cringe.